And where I used to think that I was the tough one, my wife, I mean, listen, her father is like he's retired now, but was like a high ranking military official, you know what I mean, in the Navy. So it's funny because when I met my wife, I was like, oh, I need to marry this girl because she was like the sweetest person ever. Well, come to find out that shit is
that was marketing.
That was it was definitely marketing, but it's interesting because a lot of the times, like, she's tougher on them than I am. You know what I'm saying? But I think at the end of the day, just if I'm being completely honest, there are some people that are super close to me, and pre-quarantine, obviously, I had to stop inviting certain people to the crib. Because I'm like, yo, what the fuck? How are you guys raising your kids? Like they'd come over to the crib, shit would be broken within 10 minutes.
Awesome.
And I'm like, yo, like looking at them like, yo, you're gonna discipline your kids, right? Nothing.
I mean, that's a form of disrespect, Cardi. You got to kick them out immediately.
Yeah, you got to put up that disrespect.
But you see what it is. It's like, we're also the type of people, like, if your parents are not gonna say some shit, we're also the type of people to be like, yo, come here. All right, so here's how it's gonna work, and we're gonna deal with your kids.
You're the village.
I'm not physically doing no shit to them, but at the same time, like, if your parents are not gonna do anything, you're at least gonna know, like, when you're where we are at, you got to abide by like how we flex. And that's the thing, is it's like I never kind of want to feel like somebody else feels like they gotta do things any differently. Like, if you have a certain parenting style, like, yo, by all means, do whatever works for you. Because I know also how sensitive of a subject that can be for people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm never one to be like, yo, fam, like, what are you doing? Although half of the time with some of my people, I'm like, yo, fam, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But nah, I mean, with Syph and other people that have a different parenting style, our thing is, it's like, as long as we always communicate to our kids so they know what's acceptable and unacceptable to us, do what you need to do. You know what I mean? With your kids, like, do whatever it is that you need to do. But we'll have that. Listen, we're the type of parents to have that conversation when we get back home. Like, if we went out to a get together or whatever, when we get back home, we're like, yo, that bullshit that you saw those guys doing, don't try that shit over here, yo. You know what I mean? And that's the reality.
Don't get it twisted. Yeah, because they're quick to change a habit real fast. Like, oh shit, that was flying over there?
Yo, did it ever happen to you guys? I know that it happened to me. Like, our kids were a certain way, and then when they started going to school, they came home with all kind of dumb shit. And we're like,
yeah,
what is this? But obviously, like, we realize how much of an influence school has, because they picked up some real crazy habits, you know what I mean, that we obviously had to work out. But it was really wild. Like, when they started going to school, that's when you really realize how much other people's parenting habits are going to affect your kids in some type of way, or lack of parenting habits.
That's kind of scary. It's almost like you have no control at that point.
You got to rein them in. I mean, it's the big comparison factor of like, oh, well, such and such gets to do that, and then, or they bring home all kinds of weird shit that they think flies because it's one of their friends is doing it.
My girl excuse me, sorry, but my girl took my daughter to the my gym shit that she goes to, the kiddie gym, and she said for the first time, my daughter saw a kid wilding out, and they try to structure those little classes, like they have different things that they do, and she saw the kid wilding, and then my daughter started to follow suit. And it's the first time that she had done it. This just happened like last week. And my girl's like, yo, I don't know what got into her. Yeah. But all of a sudden, this kid's running and screaming and not following the program. And then she started doing it, following the kid around, screaming and running around. I was like, oh, hell.
Yo, what do you do in that circumstance? Like, I'm sure it's happened to you, Cardi, and E, I'm curious with K. I think I know K's answer. But like, when your kid is wilding out in public or is leaning in that direction, like you see like the shift, right? And they're about to go down the path that they shouldn't. How do you rein them back in? Let's imagine a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old kid, like that age range.
Well, it's funny because when Mecca She started school last year. The school, you know, they have those kind of interviews, or they just put them in the setting to, you know, do assessments and stuff for some of the schools. And, you know, Mecca, we used to, you know, even before they got to school, we used to homeschool them. So by the time Mecca started going to school, like she was already, you know, way more advanced than her classmates. But I remember her first day of school, there was this little Asian kid and he was losing it. Like I'm talking about, like
kid was losing it.
He was spread eagle. He did, like, he was not, like, he wouldn't go in the door. Like they're trying to pull him in the door. He was spread out, snot, tears, everything just going crazy. And I remember Mecca looking back at us like yo, is this what we're doing? And we were like, you know, we just, you know, we brought her aside and we're like, listen, he's, you know, I mean, I can't remember what, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but we were like, yo, like, that's not how we behave. You know what I mean? Like, he's out of his mind. And it's like, yo, we don't behave like that. So when you go in that class, make sure that you're not following him. You know how to behave. So we try to have preemptive strikes, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to think. It only happened to us a couple of times, but like, yo, my wife will straight take the kids into a washroom and go have a talk.
Go ham.
You know what I'm saying? She'll have a
little motherfucker.